What would you say if I told you that, commemorating Mother's Day, of which we already have a special from last year, also that our mothers also experience paranormal situations. They make us live them or something happens around them that whatever we are, whatever position in the family that we have, we can always experience something inexplicable, terrifying. And today we are going to listen to some experiences about this, having a few words at the end about this date. So, taking advantage of the fact that we are here, allow me to accompany you during any activity you are doing, or make yourselves comfortable. Let's disconnect a little while from the stress and rush of the outside world and better prepare and accompany us with the drink of your preference, and let's go to Guadalajara, from where Eduardo Jiménez tells us this. In the year 92, I lived in an Infonavit Independencia housing unit. In one of those buildings, I lived with my parents in a house that my grandparents left. My mom had complications since I can remember. Health, unfortunately, over the years that throat cancer became complicated, she left us. And the truth is that neither my dad nor I could handle that. Things started to go well for me at work, and he had been seeing another house for years, so I became independent and he went to his new house. We did not want to be in that space that reminded us of Mom. This was really very fast. Changes from one moment to the next, strange events. I remember that one afternoon I was with my girlfriend at my house. I was making food in the kitchen and suddenly the home phone rang. I asked her to please answer for me. She answered the phone, and I only heard her say, "Well, hello, who is it?" And I heard her hang up the phone. She came to me and she told me that she heard something strange, but that it was surely interference. Someone had dialed by mistake or something like that. Well, who knows, that day will pass, and the next day, maybe in the afternoon, the phone will ring. I pick it up, I put it to my ear, and I hear after I say, well, that on the other end it only sounded as if someone was making a very strong effort to breathe. Suddenly I only hear the call being hanged up, and well, no, I don't know what happened. Yes, it seems strange to me, but well, what? I couldn't do anything. I thought about what my girlfriend told me one day before. I worked in the mornings, and by the afternoon I was already home, and it even seemed like it was a joke, taking into account my schedules, because the phone rang again, and as I hadn't paid attention, it was the first years that phones already had caller ID, and now I did see that the number they were calling me was a very well-known one. I picked up the phone again, well, thinking it was my dad who was calling me from the house in Independence where we lived before. On the other side, I heard that same sound again, the one I told you about, that of a person trying to breathe, making that ugly gasping, that only until that moment, the second time I heard it, did I make the connection. It was my mom. She had many complications in life, and that sound was the same one she made in her last months before passing away. I am ashamed to admit it, but yes, and I got scared despite knowing it was my mother who was making those sounds on the phone. It was me now who hung up the call, and as soon as I left the phone on the table where I had it, I started to cry, to feel nervous. The phone rang again, only now it was my dad. It was the number of his new house. We spoke. He quickly heard me. He knew that something had happened to me, and he said, "I remember perfectly that talk. How are you, son? I have to tell you something. It's something delicate, and maybe it happens to me because I miss your mom. I know very well that you do too, but she has been calling me in the afternoons from the house." Knowing that my girlfriend heard the first time she answered, that she still considered that she had imagined it because of how we humans are when someone leaves us, but knowing and hearing my dad tell me that mom had called him from the same part of that house as me without me having told him anything beforehand broke me inside. Dad, I just heard her. Also, she has already called me several times. Is she true? Yes, she doesn't tell me anything. I only hear that she is there on the other side, and until just today I heard her say my name. I am going to go to that house. I am going to take a priest, and we are going to sell it. I am going to remove that number 2 your mom has to rest. She has suffered a lot here. Honestly, I did not want to go. I could not. I did not want. Dad did not go, only when he cleaned that house with the priest, and I do not know what else he did it, accompanied by some uncles, and after some time the house was sold. That number no longer existed, but I swear to you, buy whatever you want. I just want to get it out. That I received one more call from that house, and that number was disabled. I just didn't answer. I had already said goodbye to my mom in the hospital in her last days. I don't know what that was, if my mother trying to communicate or someone else, but it was better to say goodbye like that. It's never easy. It's natural part of life. At some time it touches us, but that doesn't happen like opening a faucet, closing it, and that's it. Is a complicated process, and maybe after this life things will be easier or difficult. We will have to find out one day. Or what do you think? Tell us as we go to the state of Mexico. Ivania Huerta tells us tonight. This in my life, I have only had one paranormal experience, something that I could never explain. Well, I have a theory that seems to be the most accurate. This is brief to count. Look, in the year 2013, I was already in my last days of college, and by that time my mom had just turned 1 year old. Since she had passed away, I had a lot of things on my mind. The last projects of school, my shift at a pharmacy. I was walking at 8 in the morning to college, and suddenly I remember very well. On Reba Palacio Street, I hear my mom's voice calling me by my name. Behind me, I stop. I turn quickly, because I heard that not in my mind, but I swear I heard it a few houses away from me. Then I hear that now behind me, a truck passing down the street, delivering bread and cookies very quickly, making me realize that I was 1 step away from the street and maybe 2 seconds away, which was how long it took me to turn around. When I heard my mom, I was only those 2 seconds away from being run over. Yes, I was very scared of that possibility. I was very close to that vehicle that was going too fast, hitting me if I didn't pull myself over to the curb, and I turn around again to realize that my mom wasn't anywhere. I couldn't see her. I heard her, yes, and there I learned that even if I didn't see her as she promised me always in life, every day she would be taking care of me, even if she was no longer here. Music. Here there are promises that are never broken, never expire, words that are tattooed not on the skin, but in life we don't know how the other world works, but when it's our turn to know, we will understand how it is possible to continue taking care of our loved ones who are still here before we go. With the following experience, remember that you can find me on Instagram as Alan Salas AA after the S. That there I am sharing some images of the abandoned yes that I did not upload video, but I knew those places, sites truly very interesting, among more material that I share, and to be more than anything in contact there. Also the links, of course, of our pages and groups. You will have them in the first comment. Now, yes, let's go to San Jose, Costa Rica. Mateo P. tonight tells us this: when I was little, I had an experience that was my sister's, and nobody believed us. My sister was always a lover by the arm so hard that I felt like I had hurt myself, slamming the door, closing it, and telling me that that was not my mom. I don't know if I was too small or what to fully understand what had happened. Yes, that was very shocking for me. That I only remember spending that afternoon with my sister, scared more than me, telling me that that lady was not my mom, that if I saw her inside, I should not pay attention to her, that she looked just like her, but that I should never follow her. And I don't even know when it was that mom came back, and the first thing my sister told her was that she was there again, and that now I had seen her. Also from then on, I don't remember anything, nothing other than my sister screaming, scared, to my mom, also nervous, that she took us for a few weeks to a friend's house, and only that. I don't know what they did with that, what happened. We moved house some time later, and I remembered the story. I barely heard a similar one here in the mausoleum. If I didn't hear it, I think it would remain buried in my mind. protecting me from remembering that thing that wanted to look like my mom, one of those encounters with doubles or doppelgangers as you know them that we always wonder what they want because they take that form of someone known to us, and to follow them, to have them close. What would they do to us? Tell us what you think and let's go. To Buenaventura, Colombia. Marth Sanchez tonight tells us this. I have memories of mom crying at my grandmother's house. I being about 12 or 13 years old. I was old enough to understand that there they made her feel bad. They said things or something because although I was never in the adult talks when I saw her and heard her cry, hiding myself since they always kicked me out of there, even so I could never hear what they told her that she cried. I turned 14 years old without understanding yet why that happened at my grandmother's house, because she looked desperate talking with her, with my aunts. I knew that it was not a topic that they were going to include me in. It was enough for me with just one time that my mom told me that they were adult problems, that she was not crying, and remember that I was not supposed to know what was going on. But I did ask my dad, who told me that they only had differences between them, that I should not worry, that they were things that were fixed by talking. Time passed, and since I turned 14 years old was when I noticed that we stopped going to my grandmother's house. My cousins and some aunts were the ones who now came to our house. My parents only told my sister and me that they were remodeling my grandmother's house, just like that, and we did not ask either. The years passed. I entered high school, and about the time at that I came in very early. I had to get up at 5 in the morning and leave the house as early as possible. What happened that day left a mark on me. It was a before and after for me, I would say. I arrived home in the late 80s. There were no cell phones, so it was until I got home that I found a lot of people everywhere telling me that they were very sorry, giving me their condolences. To my family, I found her crying. My sister was not there, and it was my father who told me that mom had passed away. I'll tell you right away, no one knew what she died of. When I arrived, they had already taken her away. That was very early in the morning, so they had already moved for an ambulance. They took mom away. Days went by with no news of what really happened to her. And it's just that morning she didn't wake up at 47 years old. She wasn't sick from anything. We didn't know why she left. Those times were hard times, and I won't save you a lot of details of time he suffered from always asking us what had happened to him. And a few years went by again until an aunt brought my sister and me together with dad in our house and told us that today, with your father's permission, I want to tell you something that your father also knew about everything. Don't think we didn't. And if we didn't tell you anything at the time, it was because you were very small, and because in reality we didn't even know what was going on. My aunt said this while dad nodded. It all started once when your mother told us at your grandmother's house that she had run into your grandmother's sister, your mother's aunt, on the street one day when she was returning from the store, and that she saw her. You didn't know her. She got along well with the family. She had a lot of problems, and that she tried to say hello to her because she had almost never spoken to her aunt in her entire life. But she told us that the time that she ran into her grandmother's sister, began to say a lot of ugly things to her, that she was going to die, that she should take care of herself, that if she ran into her again, she herself would take her life, that her mother saw her very angry with her, but she didn't know why her mother said goodbye and left. From there, the problem was that she told us this when she had seen her twice. She told us that the second time she saw her was a few blocks from here, from her house, that she went out on an errand and saw her aunt standing on the sidewalk, that although this woman, because I could never see her as an aunt like family, she always looked at her with a face of hate. And you know what, her mother was like a sweetheart. She didn't want anyone to have problems with her, and she approached her again, greeting her. All this she always told us crying, and her aunt responded, telling her very angry again that she was going to die, that she was almost at her house, so that she would take it away, and I don't know what else. She told her it didn't make sense. That afternoon that her mother told us those two occasions that she saw her, her grandmother told her not to pay attention to her, that she was crazy, that she was only resentful for many things that she herself had turned her back on, and I don't know what else, and we, her sisters, didn't know what to say. The other times they saw her crying or heard were the other occasions that she told us scared, that every time she saw her closer to her house, here a few blocks then around the corner, and that she always said horrible things to her, ugly, very angry all the time. That lady cried even more because we told her it wasn't possible. We didn't hide it from her anymore, and we told her that it was impossible that she was seeing her, because she had passed away months ago, long before the first time that her mom said she sees her. She got very frustrated because she didn't believe us. She said that we didn't want to believe her, but the only thing we wanted was for her to stop imagining her. Maybe what happens is that her mom, at least her dad, and I always believed her because she was serious, that she didn't know that she had passed away on one of those times that she told us, very scared and crying. She told us that she saw her in her street and that she yelled at her from the sidewalk where her mother saw her, and she no longer approached this lady. She knew that she was always going to say something bad to her, and that her aunt yelled at her to see if with that her grandmother, or rather her mother's mother, would stop smiling like an idiot. Her mother knew that nobody believed her, except for us. They always told her that it was just fear, that nothing happened, that yes to that lady in life. We all stayed away from her because she did very strange things. She was a witch. She died, and that's why they told her that she couldn't continue there, and for that reason they stopped going to your grandmother's house. Her mother no longer wanted to tell them anything. They didn't believe her. That's why I became closer to her. Likewise, her mother only told us again, to us who came to her house, that she had seen that lady looking out this house, looking through the window. A week of that happened, and her mother left us. My aunt told us that it was true. Never. They knew very well what had happened to her. No one ever saw that woman, and they do not explain why my grandmother and my other aunts did not believe her, or why she appeared to her specifically. The truth is that what my mother told them came true. That lady apparently did find where we lived. My grandmother did not smile again like before after my mother left. Please tell us what memory you have most of your mother. What lessons did she leave you? What do you share most with her? Some activity, hobbies, some words that you always remember of her, whether she is with us or not. We are always remembered with so much affection. We know that, if you allow me, of course, my mother always instilled in me, as among many other things, to always fight for what I want to achieve, always on the right path, never harm anyone in the process, to enjoy the achievements, celebrate them, that any reason is an excellent reason to get together, create moments, enjoy those talks, and a lot of things that I would sincerely give for hours and hours to talk about this, and I have a whole life to put into practice, and thank my mom for everything she has done for me. The space is part of having instilled in me the love of terror and mystery, and always supporting me in that. Thank you, Mom. And to you who are moms, who have mothers like here on earth and like there, thank you also for supporting this space, for sharing those moments here, creating memories at the same time that your server tells these stories. It means a lot to me, and happy day, because being a mother goes far beyond what we cannot imagine, and every day we learn from Mom, as well as every day we continue learning to do it. Is a job that never ends. There is no rest, we know, but it never stops being rewarded and appreciated by those who recognize Mom. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that we have 2 groups available on WhatsApp and Facebook. Share your stories, their doubts about some paranormal material topics. It is always a pleasure for me to be in contact there with you. Also, the links will be In the first comment, do not forget it and the Instagram accounts of the channel and your server, as well as the email to any medium you can send me if you have lived any terrifying paranormal experience. It can be written or by audio message. It will be a pleasure to know your story. Thank you in advance, and without further ado, I send you a big hug. See you in the next video, and the last one is to leave. Please turn off the lights and close the doors of the mausoleum. Good night.